Na ovogodišnjoj konvenciji zvanoj Oživljavanje islamskog duha poslane su poruke mira i poziv da se spriječi radikalizacija vjere. Grupa omladine je osnovala projekat 2001. godine u Torontu sa ciljem da muslimanima pruže priliku da uče o islamu u savremenom kontekstu. Prva konferencija je uspjela privući 3500 posjetilaca. Vremenom popularnost je brzo narasla. Ove godine, na 13. godišnjicu, konferencija je privukla 35.000 ljudi iz svih zemalja svijeta. Ova konferencija pod nazivom Oživljavanje islamskog duha postala je jedna od najvećih islamskih konferencija u svijetu. Najuticajniji islamski učenjaci i akademici širom svijeta održavaju predavanja o aktuelnim temama vezanim za islam. Ove godine gosti predavači su bili bivši Reisul Ulema Bosne i Hercegovine dr. Mustafa Cerić, Ustad Numan Ali Khan, imam Zeid Šakir, dr. Sejed Husein Naser i mnogi drugi. Ovo je drugi put da prisustvuje dr. Mustafa Cerić kao gost predavač. Ove godine, kao i prošle, njegova predavanja su bila izuzetno zapažena.
The Karadzic, the Mladic, who made genocide in my country against my people, they are in the World Court of Justice for 8 years. They are trying to find whether they are guilty or not. And we all know that they are guilty because they killed my people in one day. 8,000 people on 11th of July in Srebrenica.
Jedan od najpopularnijih i najuspješnijih islamskih učenjaka je Numan Ali Khan iz Sjedinjenih Američkih Država.
You're well acquainted with the Ummah. You've traveled all over the world holding lectures, visiting conferences. What would you say is the biggest problem that the Ummah faces today, particularly the youth?
Confidence. That is the big one.
Really?
We're not confident about our religion anymore. We're not confident about our identity anymore. We are apologizing for our Islam, especially in the places where we are a minority. In the places where Muslims are a majority, the depression. We don't have hope. We become negative. Nothing's going to change. Things are only going to get worse. You know, we keep getting worse and worse and worse news. So the Ummah is in need, on the one hand, of confidence. On the other hand, it's in need of hope. When you restore both of those things, then inshallah ta'ala, the youth are capable of amazing things when they're positive. When they lose that, when they lose their optimism, then they become paralyzed.
Right. Speaking of which, you know, we're hearing so many bad news about Muslims being tortured, they're being killed in wars and in Gaza, Syria, Burma. How well would you say the privileged Muslims in the West have been in terms of trying to help their brothers and sisters in need?
So when the Ummah is in a crisis like that, then there's a frustration across the Ummah, and when we are angry, we say, why aren't they doing more? Or why isn't this one doing more? Or why are they, just sitting there, etc., etc. The fact of the matter is that every community has challenges and limits on what they can do. Like, the Western Muslim community has fundraiser after fundraiser after fundraiser about this crisis situation, that crisis situation, or that crisis situation. The Muslim community in the United States has a hard time, or in Canada, or in other places, they even have a hard time securing some of the more basic rights for themselves as a community. What to speak of international issues. We haven't situated ourselves politically well enough to do that, right? But the problem is that we have to, my message to the Ummah is not a political one. My message to the Ummah is that we become frustrated with our problems, and we start saying, how come this one and that one and that one and that one is not doing something? And we lose sight of the fact that each one of us actually has to be doing something without being concerned for what the other is doing. I have to do something. You have to do something. And the husnul dhan that, they don't care, or this one doesn't care. That's not a good assumption about your fellow Muslim. Maybe they're incapable of doing. Like, I'll give you an example. When the Prophet ﷺ went to the first battle, when the Quraysh came after the Prophet ﷺ in Badr, there were some companions. Well, by the way, we were 300 something, and the Quraysh were 1,000. So we are very less, very much less in number compared to them, right? There were some Sahaba who were in Abyssinia and Habasha, who had fled there before. And you would think this is an emergency, so you need everybody. So you should say, all the people in Abyssinia, forget it, come back to Medina. We need you to join the army. But they didn't come. They had their own situation. And not only did they not come, the Prophet ﷺ was not angry at them. He didn't say anything against them, ever. Why? Because he understands they are in some situation, we are in another situation. Right? But when we're frustrated, we don't think clearly, so we love to throw blame around. Now, we have to, on the one hand, do whatever we can for the Sunnah. But on the other, we need to understand clearly the biggest problem is when we don't take personal responsibility. We will do whatever is in our capacity, just like everybody else will have to do what is in their capacity. And then Allah will bring about help. Inshallah.
We know Islamophobia is an issue. We're hearing about anti-Islam protests in Dresden. Someone burned a mosque in Sweden. There's even been cases where women have taken off their hijab for fear of reprisal. They're scared they're going to be physically attacked. What's your advice to Muslims living in non-Islamic countries?
My response is the advice of the Quran. The Muslims became the target in Mecca. And they were growing in number, and they were starting to be seen in Mecca as the threat. Muslims started getting attacked in the street. Muslims started getting tortured. A family was even killed. Yasser's family was even killed. And the Prophet ﷺ was telling them to stay patient. And the Quran went beyond patience. The Quran didn't just say be patient. The Quran, first of all, it says, Kufu aydiyakum, hold your hands, don't become violent. If they become violent, you don't become violent. Number one. Because what does that do? It creates chaos. And let me tell you what else it does. This is really important. They call us terrorists, they call us evil, they call us dangerous, they call us all these things. And then they attack us. And we don't do anything. And when we don't attack them back. And when we don't attack them back, we prove that they were lying. But if we attack them back, even one of us, what happens? They turn around and say, see, we told you they're dangerous. And then before we retaliated, maybe a few crazy people were out there that hated us. But once they show on TV or online that, look, the Muslims, they attacked, then everybody will hate Muslims. So we will give armor, we will arm the population of people against ourselves if we don't act properly. The Prophet ﷺ was told, hold your hands back, don't fight back. Then the Sahaba were told, idfa billati hiya ahsan, respond with better. A masjid gets burned down, all the people at the masjid should go and send a letter to the local church and say, we'd like to share with you our message, and we'd like to share with you our approach towards the Christian people. And we'd like to have dinner with you together or something. When this happened in the U.S., when the masjid got burned down, and it did, and the masjid was attacked, the church actually set up security for the masjid. Our brothers in faith, and they opened up their parking lot so the Muslims could pray there, and they could, There are examples of cooperation. Muslims and Christians have lived side by side for centuries. We're living in crazy times now, but that does not erase all of that history. There have been beautiful examples of coexistence. We have to restore that order. If we cannot expect it from them, we are the people of sabr and of hamd and tawakkul and Allah. We have to rise to that occasion, inshallah. And the thing is, at the same time, we should never be afraid of being Muslim. So if a woman's taking her hijab off, she's genuinely concerned, I respect her fear. And she's my sister, and some of them are the age of my daughter, some of them are the age of my mother. And their fears are like a family being afraid, and it's a genuine fear. So we cannot call them hypocrites or anything else. But at the same time, know that your protection will not come because you took your hijab off. People who hate you will hate you no matter what. This is not going to bring you any kind of protection.
And we know the future belongs to the youth. So what do you think?
The future belongs to the youth if they wake up.
If they wake up, right? So
If they don't wake up, فَخَلَفَ مِن بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ أَضَاعُوا الصَّلَاةَ. وَاتَّبَعُوا الشَّهَوَاتِ فَسَوْفَ يَلْقَوْنَ غَيًّا. A useless generation came after them that didn't pray. They wasted the opportunity of prayer. And they just followed their temptations all the time. And they're just lost. Youth are the future. If they don't become losers, they have to wake up. They have to take their responsibility seriously.
So you'd say they're not prepared enough to become tomorrow's leaders at this point?
They can be. They can be. But they have to recognize that role in themselves and stop being angry at the world. You have to be angry at yourself that you didn't do more. Not angry at the world. Your anger at the world will not change. You'll be 60 years old, you'll still be angry at the world. Nothing will change.
Pored izlaganja ideja i predavanja, održao se i muzički program gdje je nastupio Sami Jusuf.
Justice and unity. When we put aside our differences, fighting makes no sense. Just another thing to make it a better place. We're here for a day or two. Let me show my way. Salamu alaikum, salamu alaikum, salamu alaikum. Salamu alaikum.
U bazaru ima više od 250 izlagača koji prodaju razne proizvode kao što su levhe, bižuterija, knjige, odjeća i tako dalje.
Asked the tough questions yesterday with Mustafa Tseric and Numan Ali Khan, but we know Islam is also full of positivity and light. So we just wanted to ask you, what is your favorite hadith of Prophet Muhammad that you have, your most memorable hadith?
There's a lot of them, but I'll just give one that comes to mind. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. No one of you truly believes until he loves for his brother, his sister, what he loves for himself.
That's right. And this is going to be broadcast in Bosnia. Do you have a message for the Muslims in Bosnia?
Yeah, my message for the Muslims in Bosnia: be as enthusiastic and passionate about your religion as this interviewer is, and you guys will be all right.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd like to say that we love you and we appreciate all of your struggles and sacrifices for Allah Ta'ala's deen, and we look forward to visiting Bosnia very soon.
Okay, inshallah, we'll be glad to have you. Thank you so much.
My salams to the Muslims of Bosnia. I have a lot of love for you and my love for you extends from the students that I've had that are Bosnian, and of course you must know Brother Eddie from the Deen Show, who's an amazing person, mashallah. He's a good friend of mine. So may Allah Azza wa Jal bless you Muslims, keep you united, and make you a source of spreading Islam in all of Europe.
Ovo je jedino mjesto okupljanja muslimana gdje mogu da razmijene svoje ideje i da slušaju govore od najutjecajnijih ličnosti u islamu. Muslimani u Kanadi pa i šire čekaju sa nestrpljenjem da ponovo posjete konferenciju sljedeće godine. Ja sam Mersiha Gađo za MTV IGMAN, Toronto.